welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ejiro, and if you are a returning subscriber, I just want to say thank you for coming back to view another video. Like the title says, it's a part 2, so if you haven't seen the part 1, I suggest that you go and watch the other video before this one so that you kind of have a brief understanding of what we're talking about. And also, because I'm not going to be going back to the things that I've mentioned, I might say them as per key points, but I'm not going to be elaborating on them like I did in the previous video. So I suggest that you watch the other video before coming back to watch this video. So now that that is out of the way, I'm just going to be briefly refreshing our memory on what we spoke about the last time. So now you have decided that I know why I'm coming to Australia. I've picked Australia as a country that I want to come to. I know the school that I want to go to. I know the course that I want to study. I have started my process. I have gotten my C of E, which is a confirmation of enrollment from the school, to go ahead with my visa process of coming to Australia. Now, one of those things you have to understand is that for you to also start the visa process, you're going to be asked for the health certificate. So the health certificate is just like a health checkup. You get a printout, you get a mail with a printout, and then you go to whichever hospital is accredited for it. In Nigeria or Lagos, there are 2 hospitals. One is in Ikeja and one is in Victoria Island. I went to the one in Victoria Island. I cannot remember the name at the moment, but I know it's opposite 1004. Yeah, I went there and they kind of tested me for everything. Not everything, but like you would do the regular tuberculosis, HIV. They are just generally checking you. At least I sort of benefited from it because I got to know my actual height and my weight. Not like I wasn't doing it, but like, you know, realistically. But yes, you get to do that, and then after I think a week, your result is. Then after a week you get your result back, and then you mail it back to them because you need to send them what your medicals are. So you actually go for medicals. This is also like before, I would say before like your whole process has officially started. Then while this is also going on, you also need to get your biometrics. I mentioned it in the previous one, but your biometrics needs to be taken also, because there is no Australian embassy in Nigeria. You're just going to go to, but they have a biometrics center at the VFP at Lekki phase 1. So you go there, get your biometrics checked, but you have to be conscious that you're also going to pay money for that. At the time that I went, it was 17,000 naira to get my biometrics checked and my photo taken. So I got my photo taken and my biometrics taken also, then it just cost me 17,000 naira. Also, once that is done, you get a confirmation. They also send you a message just in case you've made any mistakes. It's advisable that you get a checklist. If you're using an agent will typically give you a checklist of all the documents that you need to provide for your visa. This is very crucial. It's very important. It's very important because if your documents are not complete, they are not just going to immediately deny you, honestly, especially if you know you're a really good candidate to come to Australia. So they're not going to deny you visa, but what they're going to do is delay your process. Like I got to know about this at the visa seminar that I went to, which I stated in the first video. So if you haven't actually watched the video, you should actually go back and watch it. So I went for when the Australian government came to Nigeria. I mentioned that they had a seminar, part of the edu fair, where they kind of talked about the visa process and what could delay your student visa. One of those things that they mentioned was, honestly, if your documents are not complete or you place irrelevant documents. So if you're placing irrelevant documents and then they're requesting you to send more documents, it's just going to delay your whole visa process. The visa actually takes, I think, about 3 weeks to 3 months to actually get your visa. I've heard about people getting their visa in exactly 3 weeks, some in 2 weeks, you know, different strokes for different folks, but mine actually took 3 months. And it took 3 months because of some intricate details or documents were missing, even after I had gone through the checklist. But apparently my agent I don't know. She said she sent it, but in my defense, I feel like if you sent it, it should have been there. But we're not going to go into that today. But what happened was that I was missing a lot of my documents. Like I said, my school did not initially ask for me to write a proof of English. Actually, I actually found out that Nigeria is actually exempted for my school for it is classified as an English speaking country, so you really do not need to write TOEFL, IELTS or PT. But I had to write TOEFL because of my embassy process. So if you're actually going to start your visa process, you might actually still need to write an English test. So I wrote the TOEFL, and for some reason they kept asking me to reattach my TOEFL results, and it was pretty annoying because I know about some people that had applied before me, and at that time most of them had already gotten their visas, and I remember being very devastated, and I'm just like, come on, why they asked me for different things. Even without that, they also asked me to provide one other document, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is getting ridiculous. I actually had to go and get my medicals again because I was supposed to get vaccinated, and I don't think I was aware that I was supposed to get vaccinated or something like that, or immunization. I'm not even really like sure about the English now. So I think one of the documents that was also missing was my medicals. I did it, but then there was a wrong date on my medicals. So I would say that even when you get the result of your medicals, please look at it, because those little details can actually affect your visa timing, especially if you're in a short period and you want to go to school. Say I was going to resume January, and as at December my visa was still in the air, honestly. And I was pretty devastated because I'm like, oh, my school's going to resume like first week in January. What am I going to do if my visa is not out by then? It was a whole. It's very stressful. I don't wish that type of stress on anybody, honestly. But what delayed me was my immunization, because I had already been given immunization for, I think it was Apollo and I think yellow fever. If you're Nigerian, you probably have to do that. But the result had a wrong date on it, and by the time I submitted and I got back a response from them saying that one of my documents, I had issues with one of my documents, and then I checked and I found out that the date was wrong, because they said it was supposed to be a yearly, like annually vaccine, and the date already showed that it had been taken and it had expired. So I had to go back and they had to correct it, and I would send it back to them, and every time I sent back a document, it felt like the whole process was starting all over again, and it was very devastating, honestly. But after that was like out of the way, I would say that it kind of, I wouldn't say it went on smoothly, because then after that I got my result was a B. My result wasn't, what did they say? Then after that I got that, oh yeah, I wasn't put, like the result I put wasn't my original result, and honestly that result was driving me nuts, because they requested for my original result like 2-3 times, and in my mind I'm like, I had to even call like the TOEFL office, and I'm like, if they are not the original result, I'm posting my original result and I'm being told that this is not the original thing, so please, what can I do? And of course those ones were like, oh, it's the original thing, they don't know which other one the Australian embassy wants, but that's the original thing. I ended up sending it twice, and the second time I was like praying to God, and I'm like, God, please, I don't want to get back any message saying that this is the wrong thing, because I really do not know what to do at the moment. I don't even know, because they were sending the message directly to me and not to my agent. So when you're conversing with the Australian embassy, it is you and them directly. So even if you have an agent, you're not sending your agent any message, because you're the one applying for the visa at the end of the day. So the emails will be sent to you. So you should also check your emails so that you do not miss out on any issues that they might have. If in case they need another document and everything, you should actually keep an eye on your email until you actually get your visa. That's my own 212. my own advice to you, because I actually had a friend that, although he's here now, but like he had an issue where I think he went to spam or something, or he didn't see the message that he sent, and it was almost like the deadline, and he just kind of stumbled onto the message, and he had to quickly send the details and also send a letter saying that he did not see it on time. And you don't want to go through that whole long stress. Honestly, I think that the visa process is like the most integral part of the whole process, because if you've paid your health insurance already, you got your COE. Paying your COE means you've already paid some money to the school, and then you don't get your visa. Then what's the point of the whole what's the whole point of the whole thing? Honestly, it's like you're just being wasting your time, if I must say. But after the whole follow through process, sending my medicals again, yeah, I eventually got my visa. I got my visa, but I missed my orientation because it came out, I think, like 2-3 days. See, orientation came out, started on Monday. My visa came out on a Wednesday, so it was the process of orientation and trying to buy tickets. Honestly, my tickets, buying my tickets here, like to come here, was a different story entirely, which is not the purpose of this video. So I'm not going to be talking about that experience that I had with trying to get my tickets. But I will just say that some agents will tell you that they can actually, they can help you with your tickets. I strongly suggest that if you know another regular travel agent, just buy the ticket from them. If you can do it yourself, just do it, because it was a bit ridiculous for me that, because I did tourism, so and it's not today that I started booking tickets. I can do it myself. And normally I just said, what, when it's time, I'll just book my ticket myself. And I had been checking and I've been monitoring the price hike. Bear in mind that coming to Australia is not cheap. It's very expensive. The cheapest you might find, or I found during that period, is about 600,000 naira. And it was like the wait period, it was like 2 days. Do you get? So it's like 3 stopovers, and then I'm just like, what the hell? Why am I spending 3 days to get somewhere else? I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to I think I took Etihad, and Etihad had, like, I was looking for the also like wait time. I didn't want the wait time for my connecting flights to be longer than, say, 5 hours. Even 5 hours is a stress for me, because I get really cranky and I start having mood swings when I have to wait for a long period of time. So I was very cranky. I was like, nah, I'm not going to. I'm seeing in one country I'm waiting for 7 hours, and that country I'm waiting for 19 hours. Why am I doing all that? So I was really like persistent on what I wanted. So I've been checking flights, trying to also update, because it was my father that was going to pay for it. I was also trying to update him, because he, within a short period of time, he felt like he had paid a lot of money, and I was trying to find the best price for him, but thinking about my own convenience too. And I ended up going with Etihad, because Etihad had a 3 hours wait time and only one connecting flight, basically one stopover. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's not bad. And my agent ended up telling me that, somebody else made a mistake with their ticket, they could help me get it. And I'm looking at myself like, I know how to do this. And she's like, no, let me just do this. And I'm just like, okay, you know what, do it. And they gave me the most ridiculous price ever. And my sister is like, no, you're not paying this price, because it was too much. And I'm like, I can see that this money is, is ridiculous, because I can see a cheaper ticket. So why are people giving me this ticket? And it was just a long story. It was a very long story. At the end of the day, they reduced the price, because they of course knew that I knew what I was doing, and I could see, like, that there were cheaper prices, and I was almost about to be bad, if that's the English. I'm not a JJC when it comes to booking flights, so you cannot come and ban me now. But at the end of the day, they still got their way a bit, because they came up with a story of, somebody else had already booked the tickets. The travel agent had already booked the ticket, or the travel agent that they had connection with had already booked the ticket, and what they're going to do with the ticket and begging and stuff. And you know, my sister was very strong-headed. She's just like, no, but yeah, I have human sympathies. I'm just like, I'm not going to pay as much as you called the first time, but you know what? I'm just going to pay this other money because you know you had been helpful from the beginning. But you know, let's just have it in mind that you know I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing because I know the real price. But you know, that aside, I will pay for it. And you know, even the day that they said they had already confirmed, it was confirmed they paid the money. That's the day that I'm supposed to go. And I start sending the money to them. I'm like, okay, can I have the flight itinerary now? And it was like, oh, the seats on that flight are full, so we'll put you on the next day. And I'm looking like, didn't you say you've already paid for it? Doesn't that mean that you haven't paid for it at all? Like, I was just thinking, like, doesn't that actually mean you haven't paid for it? If you've paid for it, I'll be on the flight. But you haven't. That's why I'm on the flight. So, yeah, that's another story for another day. I don't even know. I feel like I've been giving this story already. There's no other story for another day. Yeah. But, yes, leaving from Nigeria, I had my results from the medicals that I did for Australia, which showed that, you know, I had done immunization, I was good to go, healthy and everything. I was about to check my, check in. And these guys at the Nigerian airport, Murtala Mohammed Airport, they were like, they wanted to see, I think, my health, something, medical, whatever. And then I brought it out and I showed them, like, oh, yes. And my agent had already told me that, I wouldn't need any other medicals at the airport. It would just be fine to show them that one because, it's recognized. These guys did not let me go. They told me that, step out on the line. You can't go because, that paper is not recognized. And I'm just like, what? It's not recognized? I don't get it, They told me to step back. They told me to go back and go and look for how I'm going to get a yellow card. This kind of took me back to when I was, in my first degree doing tourism. I went, I think it was like Togo, and we needed a yellow card and stuff like that. And I'm just like, what the hell? Why do I need a yellow card? I was dumbfounded. But anyhow, they of course trust Nigerian airport for them to be hooked up. So there were people there doing yellow card at the airport, and they actually helped me, sort it out for a fee. It's not free. You pay more than the actual money you're supposed to pay because you have the points where you need it. So now it's more expensive. And then I went, I did my yellow card. I just waited. The guy came back out, and then he gave me the yellow card, and I went back to the line because he just told me that I wouldn't have to stand on the line again. So I went back to where he was, and I showed him my yellow card, and I was good to go. And I didn't have to show my yellow card again till I actually got to the Australian border. So I got to the Australian border, stayed on the line also, and I showed them the same medical paper thingy. And this guy was, that was attending to me, was having issues verifying it. In my mind, I'm just like, oh God, I don't want to come and say, is it because I'm Nigerian? But he just kept looking at the paper as if the paper wasn't legit. The way I just went into my bag to bring out the yellow card, like, okay, please just take this yellow card and know that, I'm clean, basically. And he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, this is good. And, I was allowed into the country, and I'm just like, okay, what if I didn't have my yellow card? It might have been, more stressful for me. Although I know that people actually come into the country without the yellow card and they're fine. But just have it in hand. You can never be too careful, honestly. And when I was coming, I packed my food. I packed tea. I still have pepper, black pepper from when I came, January 2020. That's how much food I packed. I packed curry. I packed what's it called? What did I pack? I packed curry, yellow pepper, red pepper. That's atagungu. I packed egusi. I packed ogbono. I packed everything. No Maggi, because please call me John Maggi. Maggi is expensive. So I brought my I brought everything when I was coming. And heads up was that all I had to do was put it in a translucent bag. Ziplocs would help you, honestly. Put in a Ziploc bag and put the English name. So now it's not that on top of ogbono you put ogbono. No, nobody understands ogbono. So I think ogbono is like dried papaya or something like that. African papaya, some funky name. But I put the English name on. I put it there. I put my egusi, the English name of the egusi, melon seeds, crushed, whatever. I put everything there because in my mind I'm like, nobody's throwing my food away. And that helped me because I survived on that food for months, trying to still get my, palate used to whatever food that is being, offered here. But, just as long as you write out, declare that you have food with you, write out, what am I supposed to write out? The name in English, the English name of whatever food you're bringing into the country. Although because I had put pepper, dried pepper, they wanted to see the pepper and to be sure that it wasn't whole. So I brought out my pepper and I'm like, oh, it's dried and it's already grated and everything. And they're like, oh yeah, you're good to go. I even brought crayfish. I wrote crayfish, but it was because it wasn't also whole. I think it was blended also, so it was good to go. I brought Indomie into the country. Oh my god, thinking of everything I brought now, I'm looking at myself. But I brought everything, and yeah, that's all I actually needed for my whole process, and that was my experience coming here. If this video has been helpful to you in any way, please do not forget to click on the like button, and please subscribe if you are not already subscribed. Tell your sister to tell your brother to tell an auntie to tell your uncle to subscribe to my channel. If you want to see more content about Australia and masters, please just let me know in the comment section. I'm always there. I'm always looking at if anyone has any advice. Thank you so much for the compliments I always get in the comment section. It doesn't go unnoticed. I appreciate the effort, and thank you very much. See you in my next one. Bye.